I'm
Rah!
angry about cats.
When did we all get this dumb? Almost only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and nuclear warfare. I don't see any bodies, so it doesn't count.
I'm angry about cats.
I'm the chef. I want to hear one thing. Yes, chef. Come on, man. Use your brain. The Why I'm Angry podcast starts now. It's the Why I'm Angry podcast. All right, so we're back. I'm here with Jay Boots here
What
in
up?
the Mohawk studio
Mohawk Studios
for the win.
for the win.
All right, so it's been a kind of busy couple weeks here. Unfortunately, Honest Abe is lost somewhere in Louisiana.
That's really a shame.
Yeah, he's partying it up in New Orleans. No, he unfortunately could not be on today. Me and Jay Boots will muddle through somehow.
We will manage.
Yeah,
But we miss him.
we do. We've lost our honesty, and somehow
That's right
we're
out
gonna-
the window.
We're just gonna lie to you. So, like I said in the last podcast that I just did, if this isn't your podcast, go on and come back for the next one.
Move along.
Move along. All right. So, biggest thing I think, in the U.S. Supreme Court decision this, it's been, 2 weeks now, on the reversal of Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, let's go. Here we go.
Here it is. If you're angry about this, don't be angry at the court, because there is nothing in the Constitution that says you should be allowed to kill an unborn baby in any way, shape, or form. Don't look at the pursuit of happiness or any of that, because the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness is not in the Constitution.
Nope.
No, it's in the Declaration of Independence, which is not part of the Constitution.
Correct.
Right.
One was a letter.
Right.
Yeah, one was a letter to the king.
Right.
And the other was our governing documents.
Right. Years apart.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't put the Declaration of Independence in our Constitution,
Correct.
because we were already declared free from the tyranny of a government that wanted to control everything and every part of our lives.
Yeah.
And then
Sounds oddly
take
familiar.
money from us.
Yeah.
So,
Still sounds familiar.
in that, you shouldn't be angry at the justices or any of those people, because that ruling really was usurping the power of the Constitution, adding things to the Constitution that weren't there. They're not. It's not in the Bill of Rights.
Right.
And honestly, if you're pissed off about it, you should be pissed at your congressman, your senator, your mailman, the person who was elected to rule over you, that they didn't have the balls to make that a law.
Yeah.
To put that in the Bill of Rights, if that's what you so want.
Because originally we elected legislators and representatives and congressmen to speak the will of the people.
Originally, they came from our district.
Correct. To speak the will of the people of the district.
From that district. And originally, Congress was a part-time job, and they worked in your district with you as a person and knew what the perils and the hardships and all of the crap that we go through in our districts.
But thank goodness they can vote themselves raises every year.
Thank goodness that they can put that into law. Thank goodness that they can decide if you can have 11 or 13 or 15 bullets in your gun, but they can't decide whether it's right or wrong or good or bad to protect or not protect the unborn children.
Yeah, but some of them don't even know how to define what a woman is.
Well, I mean, it is kind of tough, but you could listen to the Billy Joel song, She's Always a Woman to Me. I heard that play yesterday, and it pretty well described a woman to a T.
Wow.
Right?
So does that mean Billy Joel should be running for some sort of elected office?
I'd vote for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's the piano man.
Come on.
Absolutely. Dueling pianos in Vegas?
Let's
Can't beat that show.
Nope.
So, you should be angry with Congress. They haven't put any viable legislation on this subject, on the subject of abortion, in forever.
I mean,
they've never done it.
I mean, alcohol got a couple amendments.
There is an amendment to the Constitution about alcohol.
There's
an amendment
women
about
got the right to vote.
Women voting. Yeah. We gave women rights. Yeah. There was a proclamation about slavery. Slavery
that's
is,
in there.
We protected people who could not protect themselves. People were forced into a situation. We protected your ability to speak out like we are now. It's the First Amendment right. I could say all kinds of whatever I want, and you couldn't stop me unless I was doing it with a gun or sword or Jimmy Buffett tickets.
Whoa. Too far.
I could paper cut you and threaten you with these tickets.
Now you're crossing some lines.
So we are throwing some names out today. We are throwing some names out.
But you're right. You're right. I mean, if it was that, if it needs to be that big of a deal, then it should have been a federal constitutional law.
That's it. And honestly, my belief is that it should be a states' rights issue. Yep. Your well-being, in any case, if the government needs to get involved, should be from the state level. Or not. It should be your city or your county, or you should just be responsible for your own stupid self. Because otherwise, it's just, is somebody in an office thousands of miles away or 100 miles away if you choose to live 100 miles from the government center, and they're making a broad decision based on 300 and some odd million people, not the 1,000 people in your county or the 1.5 million people in your city who have certain issues and certain things that are relevant to just them.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we could probably take care of this whole, sex trafficking and child trafficking deal, slavery trafficking thing that goes on that no one says anything about in the Dayton area. We could kill like a major artery of it if we just looked to our local government to do something, as opposed to always looking to what's Congress going to do for us? Probably nothing. They're going to sit on their tail. They're
You want a
going
stimmy
to
check?
vote themselves a check,
Yep.
and they're going to mess the crap up. I mean, look at our insurance system right now. I don't care what you will say about global insurance or universal insurance, or if you just want state insurance or whatever. It's terrible. It's gone from there were 3,000 insurance companies in the state of Ohio to now 3. 3
Wow.
insurance companies
Wow.
that can operate in the state of Ohio for Ohio state citizens.
Jeez.
Look it up. Look it up.
Yep.
Different policies, but 3. Man, where was the choice? Where has the choice gone?
It's always been the illusion of choice.
Is that the change that I voted for or didn't vote for?
No. You're just part of a system. It's taking advantage of you.
I mean, we kind of, at this point, have traded, to kind of quote George Washington, the tyranny thousands of miles away for the tyranny of thousands a mile away.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Jay Boots, weigh in. I have just gone off.
Oh my goodness. There's a lot there for me to start covering without getting too overly political, one side or the other, because I don't believe that you got your lefts and your rights and your Dems and your Republicans, and they're all the same. They're all the same corrupt bird,
right?
Just different wings on the on the same bird. It's all about corruption with them and lining their pockets.
It's like 2 different kinds of hawks. You got this one, it's got a white head, and you got this one, it's got a brown head. They're going to fly the same. They're going to poop the same. They eat the same things, and they're going to hatch eggs.
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't think either are eagles and stand for justice and liberty for all.
I'm a fairly patriotic guy. I think I'm a little bit more patriotic than the next guy. But
hey, I'm wearing a One Nation Under God shirt, so
there we go.
You look like you're trying to audition for a Cops episode right now. So
I am in a classic.
Did you get accepted? Are you going to be on Jerry later?
No, I've got too many teeth for Jerry.
All right. You got me on this one. You would be the classy guy on Cops, though.
I would be classy because I have all my teeth.
Right.
Oh man, I don't know what I was saying.
You said you were considered yourself a fairly patriotic guy.
Yeah, growing up, 9/11 was a big deal for me, and
it was.
That turned me into even a little bit more patriotic and standing up for what's right in this country. And patriotism is a big deal for me. And the older I get, the more I realize that the patriot is not your representative, not your governor, not your, dare I say, elected president. But it's the average Joe down the street. That's where you're going to find your patriots,
right?
Because your politicians, they don't care. They want to line their pockets.
I think that like a few of them enter politics thinking that they care. There are a few that I've seen that they care, but so far it's hard to believe that they continue to care.
Yeah, it's hard because once they get a taste of how it is, with the lobbyists and the and the corporate sponsorships and this, that, and the other, and it's just like, come on. Now we're just talking about corruption. But the old, what is the old phrase? The love of money is the root of all evil. So,
right.
Not to put too fine of a point on it.
Just to throw some little bit more history on it, since we've already kind of, I was looking at a little article on Pierce, President Franklin Pierce. He's in the beginning, he's like 1 to 5, 10 or something like that on presidents. He's like not very far into it. I don't remember what exact president he was, but they said in Congress he basically went to Washington to drink and have parties. That he spent his time and he took the advice of elder statesmen and tried to do as little as possible in Congress. Like the one accomplishment that they give him, or that they say is he helped, which is good. He helped some veterans get some kind of relief. But that was it. Wow. The whole time. Like, he was in Congress for quite a while. I mean, he made a living in Congress. I mean, he was like 33 when he was elected to Congress. So he was a career politician like the rest of them. And so he had been out of politics for 10 years when he was elected president. And he was one of those that were elected president based off of the fact that they couldn't get enough votes to elect a leader, and his party put him up. Yeah. And when he went out to get the electoral college votes, he won in a landslide. But he stood for very little. Like, he had gotten into the political scene. Right. He had gotten his power, and they said, do as little as possible. Don't ruffle feathers. Keep your shoulders down. Keep your head down range, and you won't get it shot off.
Yeah, it became a social club for him.
Right.
It became, and that's what happens to a lot of politicians.
It became a survival.
Yeah. Survival. Have a drink.
If I do nothing, I'll stay here, survive, and make good money.
Don't vote your moral. Don't vote your morals. Vote. Vote how we tell you to vote.
Right. Your average statesman, they make a good salary. So as long as you keep yourself getting reelected, you continue to campaign well. I mean, was it Elizabeth Cheney, Dick Cheney's daughter, is being funneled millions and millions of dollars right now by the left to become the Republican senator of Wyoming, I think it is.
Yeah.
Do you think she really lives in Wyoming? I mean, she has a house there, or at least a mailing address there. Right. Probably she has an office that she visits once, however many times a year that they require her to.
Right.
But obviously, if they're seeing that this is the viable candidate, that we can't get a Democratic senator to Wyoming, that the best chance we have is our almost Democratic Republican candidate out of Wyoming that we're going to funnel money into, then there's an issue here. And it doesn't look like she may even win her primary.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasted money.
Yeah, well, it's good wasted money.
I've spent worse.
That's true.
Man. Good Lord.
So, I mean, basically the average wage of a senator is $174,000. So, I mean, they're not the richest people on earth, but some of them are. Look at the Bushes.
They've become career politicians.
Yeah. I mean, there's more than one way to get money. You don't have to get your paycheck only.
Have they ever thought about
we all have a side hustle. They could maybe drive for Uber.
Right, or throw newspapers.
Not sponsored by Uber. But if Uber comes knocking, we'd be sponsored by Uber.
Hello, Uber.
Hello, Uberverse. So, yeah. So, back to the Should You Be Angry podcast. And the answer is yes. But where you should be angry, I mean, we shouldn't be protesting the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court didn't do anything but its job.
Bingo.
That precedent was unconstitutional from the beginning. And I have lawyer cousins that want to argue that, and I don't care. It's not. It's not anywhere in the Constitution, and you can't make up a ruling that's constitutional based on it not being in the Constitution.
Right.
So, number 2 thing that the Supreme Court did was vote down a law on concealed carry rules in New York proper, the state. But there was a lawsuit on the fact that the concealed carry permits were too oppressive or too restricting, basically, that a normal person couldn't get a concealed carry permit. I know I was listening to Hannity the other day, and he had threats against him, legal, validated threats against his life, and couldn't get a permit to protect himself to carry. So,
good Lord.
They basically struck it down, saying that if you have a rule against it, it can't be a semi-inclusive. It needs to be a more inclusive rule.
I mean, that's why we make laws, right? For everyone.
Also, the fact that the Second Amendment says that no law shall infringe upon your right to own guns. Yep. So, we got gray area or something here, but I think it's pretty black and white.
To me, it sounds black and white, but
I'm no law professor by any means. I'm a meager chef. But, that sounds pretty, no law shall infringe upon your right. I mean, that sounds pretty much, kind of like your ability to speak your mind peaceably.
No. Yeah, see, that's where...
honestly, they've even cut into that.
They have.
You wonder how, you say? What about all this hate speech talk? What about the fact that you can't shout profanities out on the street in front of little children?
Right. Yeah.
Honestly, that's where it started. As in that is, the Christian foundation on morality, got in and said, no, we need laws based on the fact that, children and women who have constitutions that are not as strong as men shouldn't have to deal with profanity on a regular basis. So we went in and impeded on people's rights to speak freely and without interruption in public.
Yeah.
And then we went down the slippery slope to hate speech. And then, as I talked about in our last podcast, your freedoms start to slide a little farther and a little farther away from you so that you feel like you have some semblance of safety. Now I'm safe from being bullied because he can't say that I'm bald.
Oh.
And fat.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And so I don't feel bad about myself, even though I know I'm freaking bald and fat. But I feel like that's hate speech, and I feel like you're discriminating against me.
That's a pretty good reason to be angry.
I am. But I also know that I've given up, a lot of my rights to being able to say anything I want so that I have the privilege to be upset about something that someone says about me. That's the slippery slope we get on when we take the context of the Constitution and not the words that the Constitution says.
Right.
Freedom is like I said last time, isn't free.
Right.
It costs something to everyone so that it's fair to everyone. Let that sink in. Let that sink in.
Yep.
That there's no fair if only a certain group of people get it. Right?
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
Right. That all men are created equal.
That's it.
But we don't hand out opportunities equally. Because we can't. It's not viable.
Well, sure, but are you as equally angry as your neighbor?
Well, if you listen to this podcast, you should be. Because we teach you step by step how to be.
Yeah.
If you subscribe to our podcast for $32.95 a month, we will give you the step-by-step angriness that you need to be. Yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is.
I just feel like there's more people that are out there right now that are more worried about their opinions being validated than they care about our liberties being taken away.
That's right. It is. What's sad about that is your opinion is like your nose. Everyone's got one. And your opinion is just that, your opinion. Based on, I've seen a few people actually without noses, but that was the cleanest way I could put it.
Yeah.
It's like hearts. Everybody's got one. If you don't have a heart, you're probably not living very much longer. I'm sorry. Some people need transplants, but they still have something ticking in their chest, getting that blood, whether it's mechanical or pig or people or whatever. The crazy cloned hearts. It could be just like General Grievous. He still had a heart. Yeah. Everything else was mechanical, but he still had a heart.
And then Kenobi shot him, and that's just rude.
Rude. Terrible. Anyhow.
Sorry for the spoilers.
But if you haven't seen that one, we have nothing for you. It's been
Move
years. So, yeah, no, it's just, I mean, keep your head on a swivel, educate yourself, get half a brain, start looking things up for yourself. I mean,
but they don't teach that anymore. They don't.
No, there's no critical
how
thinking.
To think. There's no critical thinking.
There's no common sense
No,
based off of critical thinking. You want your opinion to be heard over top of the fact that this is unequivocally wrong.
Teenagers right now, teenagers can't think to hardly formulate sentences. They let Snapchat do it. They let TikTok do it.
Spelling is out the window. I mean,
who cares about spell
check has ruined me. I will tell you 100%. When I could get on the computer and they spell checked everything, not just word processor stuff.
Right.
Why? I mean, I know a lot of big words, and all I have to do is know the definitions of a lot of big words. I don't have to, figure out how to spell them anymore. Just get it close.
Right.
Which angers me when I get it close, and then it's like mac and cheese. I'm like, no. That was not the word I was trying to spell check. You're an idiot. It wasn't me. It wasn't me that spelled the word to begin with. It was definitely spell check's fault.
Oh, absolutely.
For not knowing what word I was trying to spell.
Yeah. Come on, Google. Aren't you listening?
Come on, Google. All right. Without getting too far into the weeds of the abortion issue, like I said, it really should be down to the state's rights. It should be down to your state to say. And if you're upset about it and you want to be upset with your congressman or whatever, realize that California, New York, Chicago, they're all going to be more liberal. And now they have the right to be more liberal.
Yeah,
because
Seattle.
There is zero federal overhang on this. Unless the federal government wants to, come in and say, hey, there's a law against murder. Murder is illegal. We won't get into that. We're going to stay on the straight and narrow of this, but you'll be able to go to whatever state. And if you don't want to be prosecuted by another state, then go live somewhere else. It's the same thing that we say if you don't like being an American. Go live somewhere else.
Yep.
Don't be an American. Go to Mexico.
I hear the Vatican is hiring.
Go to the Vatican. Italy is nice. Germany needs more people. They're accepting people right and left. I mean, they've accepted so many people that they're a Muslim country.
Yeah.
But that's for another podcast.
Sure.
Yeah. So, go somewhere else.
Go somewhere else.
Don't be here. If you're offended, then be angry somewhere else. Or stay here and be angry with us and have an angry conversation. But let's have an angry conversation.
Let's have it. I love it.
Let's not go away angry.
Yeah.
Let's not go away crying. Let's not feel like we've been bullied or upset. Have that conversation back.
When someone gets upset and they get offended by something, what happens to that person?
I mean,
what happens? Like, at the end of the day, that person was offended at some point in the day by something.
Right.
What happens to that person? They go to bed and they wake up the next day and then they're still spiteful and angry about it? Like, that's on them. Like,
Right.
if you want to be angry, but that's on you.
If you want to waste your life
Waste your life
being angry, or you want to waste your life being offended, then yeah, go for it. That's
That's
I'm
your
good with
life.
that. You made
That's
your
life.
choice.
That's not my life. You can't propagate that on me.
You are
and make me be angry.
Free to be however you want to be. If you want to be offended, no skin off my back. But don't think
be offended. Yeah.
that I'm going to ever think about you again.
Right.
Because it's not for me to. It's for you. You make that choice.
There's a lot of people that run around screaming for what I call street justice. Yeah, right? Get free. Get free. Get some Jesus and get free. There's a lot of people running around right now that want street justice. Like, they want to play the he said, she said game, and they want to call the cops, and they want the cops to show up at the door, and they want justice right then and there.
Right.
Got to be this way, right here. And the cops, if they're smart, all they do is take statements, collect evidence, and they say, you're going to go talk to a judge about this.
Right. But that's what the judge is for. We have set up, we want to talk about, this is a systematic racism, or this is a systematic problem. No, it's not. We have a system set up.
Yeah.
And our forefathers had the insight and the foreknowledge to create this amazing experiment.
Yeah. Justice
that
system.
Has justice.
Yeah.
Now,
but anymore in 2020, someone wants to get into an argument with someone, and then they're on the phone with the cops, and that's when you get these good episodes of Please 911 cops episodes, and they just want street justice. They want a cop to be like, nope, you're right, you're wrong, you're going to jail.
Right.
XYZ, whatever.
Take them.
That's what they want.
Let's roll them, round them all up, roll them down. Let's go.
Throw them in the paddy wagon. Put it on YouTube. Throw them in the paddy wagon, and let's go.
But if we didn't all decide that we were the judges and let it go through the judging system, it would all be fair.
Yep.
Because everybody would be subject to the judgment.
Yep.
Sounds familiar to me, but
sounds really close, like it's hitting close to home.
Right.
Sus. As my 6-year-old would say, that's sus.
That's sus. Man. What Among Us has taught us.
No joke.
Not sponsored by Among Us. But if you come calling, we'll knock on that door.
Yes.
So, I mean, and normally what's sad about it is it's such a small number of people who are angry and who are calling for a certain kind of justice that get everyone else in trouble. Mm-hmm. I mean, we just talked about it before when we were talking about abortion numbers and stuff, that really the numbers that they want to say, but oh man, if this and that and rape and incest and all of this, we're taking away their rights. But we're not. We're giving it back to the states, which you should be voting on your legislators in your states, and you should be able to call your local legislator and say, this is how I feel, or this is how I want you to legislate. Then it would be taken care of in your local area. And if you didn't like it, if someone else was better, you could move to that other local area.
Yep.
I mean, if you don't want to own a gun, move to Chicago. They'll protect you. They'll keep you safe. Except for the fact that they have the highest murder per capita in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, it is huge.
And that's been going on for years. That's not even like new this year. That's been going on for years.
Because the thing we don't understand is you can make all the rules you want, But people who break the rules obviously don't listen to the rules because they break the rules.
Or is it that the government just wants to control you, just like every aspect of your life?
Well, I mean, local conspiracy theorists may attest to that. But in general, as a 100% guarantee, rule breakers break the rules.
Yeah.
From the beginning. Cain killed Abel. He didn't have an AR-15.
No.
He didn't even have a knife.
No.
He didn't even have a club.
No.
He killed him with a rock.
Oh, man.
Are we going to legislate rocks out of existence? I mean...
Yeah.
And then what is considered a rock? Is it a fist size? Is it a finger size? Is it a boulder? Is it the size of your head? Anything bigger than the size of your head needs legislated? And then can you only carry so many rocks in your pocket at a time? Or not as many rocks as this? Maybe it takes only 2 rocks to kill a person. Or is it 3 or 1? So maybe we make sure that, how are you going to protect yourself if you don't have any rocks? And why are we bringing rocks to gunfights anyway?
Yeah. I mean, that really got
out of hand. I do know a guy that brought a rock to a sword fight. He came out okay. Little story that pretty much everyone knows about. That David and Goliath thing.
The whole short range versus long range.
Maybe. Kind of like long range squirrel attacks.
Oh, Lord. I feel bad for the squirrels.
Get with that.
I'm processing.
All right. There, J Boots. Let's I feel like we've been fairly angry this podcast. I feel like we've maybe it's just me. Maybe I've been fairly angry and I've just let out the anger.
No, well, yes, but I think it's been pretty equal there.
Yeah. So. Well, so let's turn the tides. Let's change the way we're going.
Let's do it.
Let's change it. Do you have something, or you want me to bring out my Florida man now?
Man, well, I have a Florida man.
Okay.
South Florida man was robbed by another man at gunpoint last week outside of a Wendy's fast food restaurant in Miami-Dade.
Wendy's isn't even clear anymore. It's not even safe to go to Wendy's.
According to the suspect's arrest report, the victim was getting out of his car when he was approached by John Earl Taylor, who asked him if he could buy him some chicken nuggets. So this whole thing started because of chicken nuggets.
You won't buy me any chicken nuggets, so I'm gonna shoot you.
Yeah, police said that the victim told Taylor that he only had enough money for himself and proceeded to enter Wendy's. As he was leaving, Taylor approached him again and pointed a semi-automatic gun with an extended magazine. They happened to throw that in with an extended magazine at him, authorities said.
Definitely that man needed an extended magazine for 10-piece nugget. You need a bullet for every one.
I've done some questionable stuff for some chicken nuggets, but I don't know that I've ever done that.
Man, just get a McDonald's account and they give you like a free 10-piece nugget every month.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Come on.
I just needed to get that, like the chicken nugget thing out there, just because.
Chicken nugget. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely hold up a man with a extended magazine to get some chicken nuggets.
Get some chicken nuggets.
Gotta get them chicken nuggets. Man. Should I bring 10 bullets or 14?
What about rocks?
Let's get the extended mag out.
A satchel of rocks will do.
Do I need 5 rocks or 7?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, man.
I love it.
So I got a few headlines. A Florida woman surprised by uninvited iguana in her toilet.
That's something.
I mean, it seems pretty normal. I mean, if you were in Florida, iguanas, alligators, snakes, obviously are going to end up in their toilet. I mean, it's a water source, right? It's yeah. She opened the door and did a quick turnaround because I saw this thing in there and quickly shut the door, she said. The thing, an iguana. Yeah, the reptile was unable to find its way out of the commode, so she had to call a person called Harold Rondon of Iguana Lifestyles.
Oh, wow.
A wildlife removal service, obviously catering to the iguana life in the Florida area, and they rescued him. He was no one was harmed in the making of this news article. He was about 18 inches or so. So yeah, spiny tail iguana.
Wow, sounds like a healthy iguana.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I mean, iguanas can transmit salmonella, so they are dangerous to people. So, yeah, safe from the iguana.
Iguanodon. Oh wait, that was a dinosaur. Sorry, that was a dinosaur.
Is that? Oh, that's not like Sharknado.
No, Iguanodon was a real dinosaur.
Oh,
if you subscribe to that,
in dinosaurs,
that they were real, yeah.
Yeah. So, you got another one? Another story? You got one?
Yeah, there was a cow spotted at a McDonald's in Wisconsin in a car.
In the car. Okay.
In the car. Yeah.
In the car.
Yeah.
I mean, because you wouldn't see a cow spotted in McDonald's any other way. I mean, because their burgers have been kangaroo for years. But
that'd be absurd. But it's fine if it's the drive-thru.
If it's in the drive-thru. Was the man robbed with a cow? Because there was the story of the man robbed with an alligator for some nuggets at McDonald's.
The McDonald's employee, Jessica, she spotted the cow's head in the back of a Buick.
Now, obviously, this isn't like a full-size, like, adult cow. Because those things, I don't know if you know this, but those things get up to like 1,000, 1,500 pounds.
Wow.
I mean, most Buicks aren't 1.5 ton.
No.
Or 1 ton Buicks.
No, but they do have a good tow capacity.
They do have a decent tow capacity, depending on how old. I mean, I know my grandparents used to tow their old camper with a Buick back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a new Buick. That's a newer Buick. That's not a full-grown cow, but it does look decent. It was viable.
Yeah, that's a junior cow, but it's a living cow nonetheless.
Yeah, it's definitely a little more than veal, a little less than hamburger.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness, I love it. Oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. So I come across a story. I heard from. I don't know, I was listening to a news organization, and it popped up on my radar. It's a man, Florida man kills neighbor's chicken.
Wait, why?
Well, the story goes on. This is all prefacing and paraphrasing, but guy goes out to his mailbox. Chicken Rooster chases him, and he swings a stick at him and says he feared for his life and got a lucky shot on him, knocked him dead.
On a chicken?
On a chicken. Yeah, I guess he hit him in the head, knocked the chicken dead. The neighbor seems to think that the rooster was like a neighborhood friend. Like everybody loved him. Everyone else talks about like they had to throw sticks at him. He would chase everybody. I mean, if you've ever lived I live in Ohio, so living near or in Ohio, you see farms and chickens and things of that nature. I'm definitely not a full-blown city boy. I've lived in the city, but I know there's things about chickens. But roosters are excessively angry most of the time. And most of the time, they're not hanging out and playing hopscotch with you. And so, like, he mentions the neighborhood kids throwing rocks and sticks at this chicken to get him away from from them. And then the neighbor, I loved the interview from the neighbor. He's like, yeah, the neighborhood kids would play with him from time to time. They were throwing rocks at him and stuff, and just playing with him. I'm like, he's not a dog. Like, it's not like he's throwing a tennis ball or anything like that. I mean, so here it is. You just got to hear the interview here. Here's the interview.
He calls the chicken police on me. Chickens are dying every day, people, at churches, Popeyes, and Kentucky Fried Chicken. Did tell him, after the chicken hit my dad, I said, hey, man, the chicken attacked my dad. Oh, what's he doing? It's just a chicken. What's he going to do? Okay, well, look. Kids that used to live over there, they were throwing rocks and sticks at this chicken to keep it away. I didn't know to give it a 21-gun salute, CPR, mouth to mouth. Or call the chicken ambulance. So I'm defending myself. I was feared for my safety, and the chicken, died.
So people are dying chickens are dying every day here, people, at Popeyes, churches, KFC, your Lee's famous recipe. Raising Cane's, where do you think they get that chicken, people? Right. Wendy's, where do you think they got those nuggets that those people were fighting over?
Oh, man.
From chickens. Chickens dying every day. I didn't know whether to give him a 21-gun salute, the CPR, call the chicken ambulance.
Call the chicken police.
So the guy called the chicken police on me.
He called the livestock commissioner.
Like classic Florida man. Best Florida man I've heard in 2022. I mean, the really guy spent 30 hours in jail because he killed his neighbor's chicken who happened to be on his property.
Yeah.
Attacking him. Whether he really, it was on his property, man. I mean, come on. Obviously,
sounds like he could have had a good dinner.
It's a rooster. Roosters are, unless you have a broaster, roosters are pretty tough. It's probably not the chicken you want.
Gotcha.
But, just giving you the full chef on it. But, a broaster can kind of bring them back a little bit. But, which, if you want to know, a broaster is like a pressurized fryer. Super dangerous. I mean, if the top of one of those comes off, it's like basically a pipe bomb, or if you made one of those pressure cooker bombs that they threw in the Boston Marathon or something like that. Except for it's 400 degrees oil and chicken flying everywhere as shrapnel instead of just little BBs. I almost would rather just have the chance of being missed by little BBs than 20
Chicken
pounds
parts.
of fryer grease flying everywhere. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite sound.
That's a
appeasing.
picture that's been painted that's great. But that's why like certain places chicken is so much juicier and so much crispier on the outside than others. They take the risk of creating a pressurized bomb in their kitchen so many times an hour so that you can have amazingly crispy, juicy inside chicken.
Now I forget. Did Kenny Rogers Roasters Chicken? Did they do that?
Yeah, that was roasted chicken. Yeah.
Was that okay?
Yeah.
I miss Kenny Rogers Roasted Chicken.
Yeah. The roasted chicken was just regular roasted, but their Kenny Rogers like roasted was fried. Yeah. And
What was it? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
yeah, they did a
It was
roasted
a great
chicken.
place.
Yeah.
That was a great place.
Was. Pour one out for the homies. Poor Kenny Rogers.
Poor Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
Gotta love him.
So, Jay Boots, any last stories?
No, I don't have any last stories. I just needed to get a little bit of that cow crisis in Wisconsin out.
Cow crisis in Wisconsin. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they didn't turn the cow into Butterburgers. And maybe that's what the deal is kind of like, instead of like Wagyu beef where they massage the cows and things, this is more like, we make our cows our pets and we drive them around in the car and, you know,
I mean, it looks like
it's
a dairy
called,
cow.
like a Buick cow. And maybe they make better cheese if they've gone to McDonald's.
They stick their head out like a dog.
Yeah, they get to kind of see where their products go.
Right. Oh.
To McDonald's.
It's like a more fulfilled life for the cow.
It is. It's the circle of life. It's the wheel of fortune.
Oh my goodness.
The antelopes eat the grass, and we become the grass, and so it begins the circle of life. We eat the antelopes.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
I've never had antelope.
I've had elk, bison,
Or gazelle.
I've had pronghorn, but it's not quite.
Not quite the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deer, obviously. I live in Ohio.
Love me some venison.
Venison. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took like this whole like food bingo thing. They were like, if you can score over 11, you've got. I'm like, it was like I was at 36. And I'm like, there's only 2 things on this list that I haven't eaten.
I've done pretty good.
And that's because it's illegal in most states to eat pufferfish.
Oh yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that was on the list.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But not tilapia.
No, not tilapia. And in Colorado, you can eat lion. So.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm learning here.
Right. So, takeaways from today. Make sure that you're putting your anger in the right location.
Correct.
That your anger is distributed in the right direction. That the Supreme Court in this one is not where your anger goes. Be angry with your Congress who doesn't have the balls to tell you they don't care about you.
Bingo.
Yeah. They just don't tell you. And they don't care about you. But anyhow, I digress on that.
That's it.
Yes. So, Jay Boots, any final sayings?
No, you know what? I don't have anything.
All right.
I'll let you take it out.
Well, everyone, God love you. If you're angry still, continue being angry till the next podcast, and then maybe we'll fix it. But don't hold your breath, because we probably won't. So, final words to live by.
Rawr!